What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of the Whole W podcast. I am jmarshhh,
I'm Cody or YDoc.
I'm Kelso.
and this podcast is brought to you by Rogue Energy. You guys can go to therogueenergy.com and use the code Broken Dagger for a 10% discount on your purchase. We have like a lot to cover today, so the format of the podcast is going to be a little bit different, and we're going to try to hit everything that we can in the shortest amount of time.
So let's jump right into it. First topic on the board is the free-to-play model the future, or is it a sustainable genre? So, Cody, what's your opinion on this?
I don't know, man. I don't think we'll ever get away from paying for games. Every company is just gonna jump on the free to play bandwagon and sell battle passes and skins for the rest of their life. I don't think people are artsy or creative enough for that shit. You have giant companies like Activision and EA that I really don't think want to follow that model very well, or when they do, it kind of backfires on them occasionally. So I see the market. I think it is there, and I think people can do it and do it well. But I don't think it's just going to take over and be, the big thing.
Yeah, and so two of the biggest games in general, in the past couple of years or whatever, have been free to play, and they've also been BRs with Fortnite and Apex. Those are two of the bigger games, with bigger player bases. Apex, just blew up, in a week, and the first month they had I don't even know the numbers, 50 million or 25 million, something like that. And they're both
impressive,
and they're both free to play games. But with the free to play games, being able to just create multiple accounts does hurt the free to play genre. And because a lot of free to play games, they're usually competitive or have some sort of leaderboards in some way, and being able to just create multiple accounts and then being able to cheat on those multiple accounts really ruins the fun, because I know Apex has on PC has a lot of issues with hackers and with cheaters, and I've watched streamers or I've just watched clips in general, and seeing these guys aimbot and it's not fun, right? But then it's they get caught, they get reported, their account gets banned, and they just make another one, and then they and it in general, it's hard to combat cheaters in general, because of that fact. Nothing's stopping people from buying the game, even games that you need to buy, say Call of Duty or something, to cheat in Call of Duty, and then you get banned or whatever. It's not that hard to buy the game again, but it is more money, obviously.
right?
Right.
And it adds a little bit of repercussion to the hackers, right? Like Fortnite. I know they got their hacker situation pretty down pat. It's pretty good in Fortnite, from my knowledge.
Yeah.
But like you're saying in Apex, they don't have a great algorithm to catch hackers. So I know there's a lot on there.
Until recently, I heard in the last week, the last patch, apparently they banned a lot of people, and apparently they're hard banning their actual hardware, because I was reading that hackers, they have a hacker account, and then they have a other account,
a main account, yeah.
And apparently they can't even play on their main account anymore, because they'll play one game on their main account and then it gets hard banned, because it's banned on the hardware. Your PC is banned, apparently. Something
that's
like that.
Crazy.
So that's actually insane. So now to play the game, you need to buy a new PC. essentially,
quite the repercussion.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that. I seen an article where it said they banned over 500,000 accounts or something, 500,000 accounts. That's insane. And that's the start. But
right.
yeah, so with the free to play model, I think that it's definitely easier to cheat, to be honest. because like Call of Duty or Battlefield or like PUBG, I know they all have their issues. I mean, every multiplayer.
Yeah, they all have cheaters, but yeah.
But like if you get banned, then you have to rebuy the game at the very least to play it again.
Why do you guys think that like BRs in general are very popular, or at least the popular BRs are the free to play ones?
Because
everyone can play them, man. Yeah. I look at like Realm Royale. That didn't pop off. That was a free BR. It was
free, yeah.
It wasn't good,
Yeah.
When Fortnite came out, look at what battle royales were out there. You had H1Z1 and PUBG. Those were your two Goliaths fighting in the BR realm.
Mm-hmm.
And Fortnite brought this whole new building system. It had this new graphic style. It brought a lot of new things to the table, and people gravitated toward that. And again, it was free. So like, try it. Oh, this game's good. It's got this new mechanic. Sweet. Same with Apex, It kind of built off of like, I think Realm had a lot of good things. Repairable armors, abilities, heroes to play as, it kind of built off that. But made the combat good and fun. Fast-paced shooting, getting up in the action, all kinds of stuff like that.
And Apex is like almost like on the market. There aren't too many like true FPS games anymore. Like a lot of FPS games, they always have like a catch, and Apex does have that with the abilities, but I think in general it's like the closest thing that you can get, like PUBG and like even like Blackout and like H1. Those are like I mean, H1 isn't like a first person shooter, but those are like first person shooters. You need to outshoot your opponent, right?
Right.
Whereas other games, they add in this mechanic, and like even Realm Royale was like kind of like more like a fantasy style game where it was like with the abilities, and you had like magic and stuff like that. You had different abilities and stuff, and then like in Apex, the abilities don't really affect the game and the team fights like that much. At the end of the day, you still need to outshoot your opponent. Like only 2 abilities in the game will actually do damage, which is like the Bangalore and the well, I guess 3 with Caustic. And then Gibraltar. But a lot of the abilities don't actually do damage, right?
Right.
They are used as like a utility, whereas like in other games, like your ability is like you can pretty much like maybe like one tap somebody with your ability or something, or like you can your abilities are like kind of a cop out if you can't shoot type of thing. So yeah, I think that's why Apex is so popular. I was actually reading this one thing that a lot of Overwatch players play Apex, and I think it is because Overwatch, the lack of FPS mechanics in Overwatch, that's what people want, right? Like all the like Taimu, IDDQD, like they play Apex now instead of playing Overwatch because Overwatch is in a very bad state. You can't play Widowmaker or McCree anymore. You can't play these high skill these high skill FPS characters. You have to
Let's play Goats or Bastion or Baptiste.
Yeah, and none of those are very. It doesn't show off your talent of your the first person shooter gift that you have. So
right.
I think that's why Apex is very popular. But I think like Apex also has like a big learning curve in the way that the bullet drop works. It's very like, at least on like the longer range weapons, it's very hard to master those sniper the snipers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think like going with the free to play models and why I think they're so popular, like when you look at Fortnite, like the reason it blew up is because there's nothing really like out there like that with the building, and it was like third person. It was very cartoony. It's a very aesthetically pleasing game to look at and play. Especially like the building mechanics, and like it can be very competitive at times, especially like big build battles and stuff. And I think that was fun for a long time, and it's still a very popular game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
However, I think that Apex kind of like took the world by storm because it was a lot more faster paced than most BRs. Like it really just it kind of like took it up a notch for people that want to like high intensity, like explosive games. Like you can go in there and like just wreak havoc, and like have as much fun. Like it's go all the time instead of like I'm gonna build my base, kind of like sit around for a bit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's a little bit different, and like it's just not as it's more fast paced than most BRs you'll play. To be honest, like Realm Royale. I mean, I don't really have a lot of experience in Realm Royale, but I think that
I played it a couple times, but
it was okay.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything that grabbed me and made me like want to play it or want to be good at it. You know.
Yeah.
It had good ideas. It just like I don't think the combat was very good. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to touch on like the fast-paced stuff and the like real shooter. It feels like an old arcade shooter, which is
Yeah.
like a good thing for most people. I think you're talking like Quake, early CODs,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
fast, quick. You're out shooting people. That's how you're winning gunfights, and I think that's what's fun for a lot of people.
yeah.
And
I definitely agree
also
with that.
it's not super long matches.
No.
Yeah.
Even if you win, 15, 20 minutes. So you're in, you're out, you're kicking butt, you die, you go again.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And like that, talking about like Apex, it kind of like leads into like our second topic of like BRs being pushed forward, right? And I think that them introducing the whole respawn mechanic, because now I know even Fortnite has their own version of it, the respawn van or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called, but you can respawn people in Fortnite now apparently.
Okay.
But that really fixes like a lot of problems that people have with BRs or people that like are hesitant to play BRs because they're like, well, I'm playing with my friends, we're gonna drop, I'm gonna die, and then I need to spectate the whole time. But it brings in a mechanic where, you can bring back your teammates and continue to play the game, even if you die off the drop. And I think that mechanic is pretty cool. I hope going forward that not all BRs have it. Like I don't think every BR needs to have a mechanic where even Call of Duty has their own version of it, like their game mode, down but not out or whatever. Whenever you go down, you can come back when the next circle comes or whatever. I definitely don't think that like every BR needs it because then like I don't think that should be like the BR genre. There's gonna be some things that never change, right? And I don't think that is something that the BR genre needs. Like when you think of battle royale, you think you're fighting to be the last one alive, and in this case, like you said, it is very like arcadey, and it just brings like that feel of it. You bring your friends back and you guys can just play again. But I don't think every BR needs that. Like if if PUBG was to have something where you can bring your team back to life, I think it would, like, especially PUBG being a very realistic game. I definitely think it wouldn't work, right? Because like just in the universe of the game, it's a realistic game, or like Firestorm, the Battlefield 5 BR, like that it wouldn't make sense. I mean, even in Call of Duty, it doesn't make sense. I don't think why, but
Well, you're coming out of a portal,
Storm's moving, get in there.
Yeah. So yeah, going forward, I definitely hope that they don't. That's not a thing that BRs adapt. As much as I love it, like I love the concept of it, but I don't think every BR needs it. You know what I mean? Just like every BR doesn't need to be a hero shooter like Apex is. Like Apex is like a hero shooter. You get to pick your hero, has personality, whatever. But not every game needs that.
I also feel like that if every game had that mechanic in there, it's gonna kind of take out like some of the more hardcore BRs, like where there's a repercussion for you dropping in a certain place, or like you make a mistake, then there's a reason for it. Like if there's no punishment for incorrect placements or like bad aim, then I don't know. I think that kind of takes the fun out of some games, like some more hardcore BRs.
Yeah. I don't think hardcore BRs work. I think BR is very casual.
Arcadey.
I think BR. I think one of the reasons Fortnite and Apex work so well is because they're casual. Same with Call of Duty BR. There have been hardcore BRs that come out. I love the game Islands of Nine.
Yeah.
Man, that game was punishing. Like one shot headshots, all kinds of stuff like that. You know, it wasn't like realistic like PUBG or anything like that. It was kind of like in the future. But like people played it, and its player base died off in the first 2 weeks, I think, just because it's like, oh well, you know, it's too hard. Yeah, it's too hard. I don't want to play it, like, you know. And it's not like you're not getting a loot. You know, it's not like you're just dying on drop. It's literally people just dying in gunfights, and they're like, oh, it's too hard. I don't want to play it. You know, I don't think it works like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in general is, it's kind of sad, like as a gaming community, that's why people don't play games like the Dark Souls, you know, franchise. All the games from that they make, they're popular, but they're very niche.
Yeah,
and they're very good games, and they could sell huge, right? But they don't because they're very hard. And you know, there's even I read arguments about Sekiro needing an easy mode or whatever, and stuff, right? And I just think it's kind of like, I guess it's like kind of sad, right? That like we don't play certain games, like we as like a gaming like community, we don't play certain games because they're difficult. They're too hard, right? We need an easy mode, and like it just like kind of sucks, because then it's like, you know, what if Sekiro didn't sell good, right? Because the game is too hard, and you know, obviously you're trying to make money as a company to, you know, pay your employees and then push out your next product. I'm like, what if it didn't sell because like you know, a couple thousand people played and they're like, dude, this game is impossible, and then it scared other people from playing the game, and then only the hardcore, you know, From Software fans are playing the game, and that's not enough to sustain the company, right? Like that would be insane. So it's just kind of sad that like, yeah, if games are too hard, people they stray away from it, and they just go to, you know, the Fortnite and the Apex that are like easier games. And I mean, but I get it, you know, like sometimes you don't want to, like, you know,
sometimes you just want to jump on a game with your friends and like,
yeah, I mean, I know the Dark Souls kind of comparison was it's like a little bit drastic. Yeah. But
Dark Souls BR, sign me up.
Hey man,
made for masochists like you.
But
put me in, dude.
But I think like the concept is kind of the same. Like it's we're afraid of hard games. Like we need an easy mode. We need something, you know. People don't really want to like work and
put in the time and effort
and grind to like learn the mechanics and get better. But like, I do think that people do that. Like, I mean, I don't really keep up with Fortnite that much anymore, but like people like grinded that game to like learn the building and get fast at the building. And so I think that like, but at the same time, it is a casual game, right? Because then I think in general, like I never took the time to learn it, but I think in general, like I think building is pretty easy once you get, I think it's more about the layout of your keys. Yeah. But once you get the building, it's very easy, because I mean, 9 million kids are out there building a fortress in half a second, and I'm like, dude, that looks easy. You know?
That's
so
that's
yeah,
fair.
Yeah.
But I also feel
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, as someone who doesn't play Fortnite all that often, I will go and play it every once in a while. Some of my buddies like to play it, and you know, I definitely feel like, as a casual Fortnite player, you know, I'm definitely not like up to par with a lot of the people.
Yeah. I don't build at all.
Me neither. My buddy from work, he's pretty hardcore into Fortnite, or at least was. I'm not so sure anymore. But he wanted to like grind it out and be like really good. So he would describe to me like, he's like, I'm gonna go try these new keys and like do this new key layout to like build faster, do this certain thing, and like it got pretty intricate. I feel like if you really like want to be like really good at building, like play against some of like the top players, like, and because they were doing like those tournaments and stuff for a while, and like I thought it was dope, dude. Like if that's what you're into, like hell yeah, man. Like I don't know, it seems, I don't know. I don't want to say it seems easy because I honestly don't think it is, man. I think like trying to build it or like build certain like paths, I don't know. It's like you're trying to build counter build your opponent essentially. Like if they do this, then you gotta do this kind of thing, and like it's a different stroke of the keys, and I think it takes a while to like get good at that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to be honest, Lan, like you said, you play Fortnite, dude. I build a single ramp so I can get some high ground. Boom. That's my building, dude.
Someone shoots a wall. All right.
Fucking it,
I did
dude.
my building.
Yeah, man. I'm just trying to outshoot my opponent. That's why I had to stop playing Blackout, dude, because Blackout for me was very fun because it was like a true like first-person shooter. Mm-hmm. But then people started to learn that, you know, the equipment in the game is
OP.
Busted.
There's number one, there's way too much of it.
Yeah.
In one match. Because, you know, when you kill somebody or when you get into a team fight and you have 9 cluster grenades thrown at you, which create more grenades, I'm just like, is this a shooting game or are we just, you know, just like Angry Birds, like first-person shooter? Yeah, right. So it's like I had to stop playing the game, dude, because like, you know, the 9 bang, I know like they end up patching it out.
They took it out, thankfully. Yeah.
But even just concussion, dude, like being hit with a concussion.
Choo.
It was so bad. It just really it was really frustrating, like playing the game and, you know, wanting to outskill your opponent and then just being hit with a barrage of like equipment, and they didn't even have to fire one shot at you and you're dead. Like it was so frustrating.
I remember when the game first came out, and like he has to be like, "Hey, there's a 9 bang
was
here."
The
like,
9 bang guy. Yeah.
I'm getting that shit. Dude.
No, I mean obviously you're gonna use the equipment, right?
It's no, yeah.
But I just mean like, I think it should have been, they should have made the equipment like more rare, or like, you know, I mean they took 9 bang out, but like make the cluster grenades more rare, because nobody used the frag grenades because they're bad. Right,
they're not as good.
But you know, make the clusters more rare. When you kill somebody and you loot their body and they have like 9 cluster grenades on them, you're just like, dude. And then you go loot their friend and they had 7, and then they, you know, and the whole entire team had, you know. I think it's just way too much, dude. And I think that's one thing that like Apex does very well is their equipment. I don't think it's too strong. Right, the arc stars are kind of the equivalent to a concussion because it will distort you and slow you down, and but it also does damage. But I don't think that, because they have clusters, the grenades, and then they have the thermite grenades that create like the fire on the ground, and I don't think that they're like too strong. Like there's a lot of them, but like I don't think that I've never come into a problem. I think it's because the team fights happen so fast, and everybody has movement abilities, and everybody's like, you don't really play at a distance that often. You usually take the fight, you know, you take a couple of shots at the distance, but then, you know, your Wraith flanks, your Octane does this, you get a zip line, you just get on them, right? And when you're on them, nobody's throwing equipment at each other. You pull out your guns.
I was going to say, that's one of the biggest things, I think, is you can't have your gun out and have your equipment. Like you can just chucking whatever you have. You still have your gun ready to go. So like if you want to throw your arc star, you gotta, you know, put your gun away, equip the arc star, and then throw it, and then bring your gun back out. You know,
exactly.
And I think that's a big mechanic too.
Yeah.
If you have teamwork, it kind of works out because you can have like one throwing an arc star in, another flanking, whatever. But yeah, like solo gunfights and stuff like that, I think that is a nice thing.
Yeah.
That kind of stops the spam more or less.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, although I've been the guy with, I've had like 8 arc stars in my inventory, and then the last fight I'm just throwing them all from the back line.
Yeah, well, I also think that the area of effect is a good size. Like I think it's a pretty good size that you can get out of, and like I said, the movement in the game, everybody's very quick. You can slide, like once you get the movement down, you'll be able to slide or use an actual ability to get away. So I that I think that like playing Apex, I don't find a lot of the time that like I'm dying unfairly. You know, like I anytime I die, it's like damn, like I missed that shot. I should have hit those wingman shots, or dude, I should have healed first, or I should have done that. I never feel like I'm like, okay, dude, that like you feel cheated out of the fight or whatever, right? I don't ever really feel that with Apex in my like experience with the game. I think that like when I die, I'm like, oh yeah, they 3v1 to me. What do you do?
Yeah. You die.
I never feel like, dude, the arc stars, dude. You know, like I don't. I don't ever really feel like that. So I think that's something good.
The only time I ever feel cheated is like when I literally land and I run through like 4 buildings and don't find a single gun, dude. And I'm just like, fuck. And you're just being chased.
But that's BR.
Yeah.
That's all. Anybody who says that, I'm like, that's
the BR genre, dude.
Shit,
you just GG go next, dude. You took like 3 minutes.
It just sucks because you're just like, damn it. But that's
next time you drop in, you find like your preferred loadout right away. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes you drop on some purple armor, dude. You know, and
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you take even longer to die without a gun.
Yeah.
Hey, but you're living. You're getting the points
for a little bit longer.
Yeah. So yeah, but no, that's just the BR genre, right? Like, I think.
Yeah.
What was the one game where you actually spawn in with a gun? It was on PC.
It was Row.
Ring of Elysium. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that mechanic? I know. I've actually read that people wanted when Apex first came out, like the first month it was out, they wanted for you to be able to drop in with a gun. I definitely don't think. I mean, I'm not gonna say it definitely wouldn't work because like it would work. Like, you know what I mean? It's not gonna like not work. But I just think it wouldn't make the game as fun for Apex. Yeah. But for another game, or like other BRs, like what do you guys think about that mechanic dropping with? I mean, it's usually like a pistol or something, right? But
yeah, it's not strong. It would be like the P2020 if we were talking about Apex, right? Like that's what I would assume would be like your starting gun because it's better than shit.
I mean, like, I don't know,
dude. It's better than nothing. But it is literal.
It's still shit. But like the thing is I think it would kind of change the meta in Apex, right? Like you drop down and you're just like, well, I'm gonna go frag out the P2020 before anybody can get their guns. Like, I don't know. I think it would kind of take out
people use the P2020.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I think at that point it comes down to like you and someone else land on top of each other, right? And it's like if you can outshoot them, you win, right? Whereas right now when you land, you guys just have fists, and the fist mechanic, it's not like an auto lock on or anything, right? Like it's a slight lock on, but it's easy to miss.
I miss all the time.
Yeah, exactly, right? But I definitely think that like, you know, if you know you and let's say like, you know, one of those big streamers, you know, like Dizzy or like Shroud or somebody, you drop with them and they have the P2020, you're dead.
Yeah.
You get roasted. And that's just more not fun, I think, in my opinion. Than, you know, you actually have a gun and you're like, yeah, I don't know. I do think it works in some games. Like, I mean, obviously it worked in Ring of Elysium. I don't think it's very big anymore. But that was also a free game, right? I'm pretty sure.
I thought you had to pay for it. I could be wrong.
I know when I played it, it was free. But I think when it first came out, I think you might have had to pay like the early access or whatever. You could pay for it, but
yeah. So I think what you said about like the respawn banners, I think in some BRs it could work, but you know, I don't think it should be like a staple. Like, you know, you think BR, it's like, oh yeah, you start with weapons. No, with Apex you have a lot of movement. You can get around, you can get away from somebody, you can get your team and go to another place and loot whatever. I think that's fine. Don't start with a weapon. You know, Row, to be fair, it was like a class basically, because you had abilities with your starting weapons as well. It wasn't just you selected like the pistol. I think it was like a pistol, an Uzi, and like a revolver. But like each class had something. Like there was one of the classes had a glider, one had a snowboard, and one had climbing gear as well. And they each had their own ability. So like it added a little more to it.
Okay,
but sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, the glider is awesome, man. You could jump off anything, just soar. Getting away from it. But yeah, your weapons, they were weak, but it was nice. Let's say you spawn in a square right next to somebody, because like if you guys, it was like a grid map,
Yeah,
and you
and you
select
pick.
where
You
you
don't. You
spawn.
don't actually drop in.
Yeah.
You spawn in. Yeah.
So I think it worked for that game. I could think, if you have like some crappier pistols, some weaker weapons, it could work in BRs.
Mozambique.
Oh, please no. I'd rather have P2020. But I think it could work. I don't think, like you said, it'd be a staple or anything, but for maybe more like the realistic shooters, people wouldn't be so angry.
Yeah, yeah. Something like a story, right? Like, okay, so I came up with an idea for a BR, right?
Oh shit!
And
Okay.
I don't know.
Copyright.
I don't know if we want to
Yeah.
talk about it now because I know the last topic is the evolution of BRs and what we think is going to be coming next. I don't know if we have anything else to say about.
Yo, your BR is coming next. What do you got, big boy?
Well, before I move on, like, do we have anything else, kind of about Apex, the popularity of Apex? Actually, let's touch on the Apex
Yeah.
Battle Pass, and
Okay.
and
Yeah.
the Apex Battle Pass, and just yeah, let's talk about the hype around Apex because
I wanna
Apex took
say-
the BR genre like by storm.
Right.
I think the battle pass for Apex is underwhelming. It's just like from your guys' opinions.
What's your opinion there?
I don't know. I don't really care about season passes anymore, you know? Like, I don't know. It doesn't mean much to me. I think it's fun because, like, I like progression. So, for me personally, I like going through ranks and shit. But I don't really care about what I get. Like, especially from the Battle Pass in Apex, just getting like new banner things for like, oh, season 1 kills and season 1 whatever. It's like I'd rather put my overall kills, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't mean much to me. And then not having like new character skins, I mean, I think that's the biggest one, to be honest with you. Besides like the, what was it, 3 for the first rank?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that, and
I have
then
a
I like
comment
gun
on that,
skins.
actually.
Was that?
For the characters, I talked about Marsh about this before. So I think character skins can be a mistake, even if they're really good. So like, let's say you play Bloodhound all the time, and Bloodhound skin isn't till rank 90 in the battle pass, and you're a casual player. Well, you're like, I play Bloodhound, I want that skin, but I'm not gonna make it to tier 90, so I'm not gonna buy the battle pass. If you narrow it down to just gun skins, anybody can use every gun in the game. You have your favorites, sure. You get a cool skin for the P2020, it's still like, sweet. If I have to pick it up, I have a skin for it now.
Dude, P2020 has some of the best legendaries in the game.
It's ridiculous. I think character skins can go back and forth. Like gun skins, everyone can use. The banner things, like almost everybody gets them for every character, so it's not really a huge deal. You could do, I don't know, put sprays in the game, throw more in the battle pass. I don't know.
Emotes.
Sure.
The thing
That's
is,
kind of a common thing.
well, I always thought about why Apex doesn't have emotes, right? And I just think that like emotes slow the game down, right? If you're gonna emote after every time you get a squad kill, because you get the squad kill and then you're looting because the next squad is like they probably heard and they're coming. How many times do we kill a squad and we're all low because it's of the team fight, and then we just get roasted because we had no time to heal and no time to loot or whatever, right? And I definitely think that would just, I don't think it's like you'd kill the team and then what? You're gonna emote, you're gonna dance on them, whatever. I think people barely even do the executions because it takes so much time, right? So it's like doing an emote after you kill a team. Instead of looting, it's kind of like,
That's fair.
But I definitely think sprays are a thing that could work. Like sprays usually work in all games.
Throw a spray, loot, move on.
Yeah, exactly. But like with the battle pass, so you get 4 character skins. You get 3 at the very beginning, and then on tier like 50 something, you get an Octane skin that I just got. Which is like whatever, it's fine. But the gun skins are pretty underwhelming. I know their theme is like what is it, like a wasteland, it's like a
It's almost like adventure.
yeah, it's like some kind of like prehistoric adventure because the thing's like a dinosaur. I don't know, dude. Okay, they have a theme. It's a theme, dude. But this
Jurassic Park.
the skins. I'm pretty sure there's only 3 skins, like 3 like main skins. There's like a one of like leaves, like fall leaves. There's one of like a map. Then it's called the Navigator. There's like the map.
So ugly.
And then there's another one. That's like kind of like I think it's called Patchwork or something, and it's like
It almost looks like a Native American.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are like the only. I'm pretty sure those are the only 3 skins, and they're for every, or not every gun, but for a lot of guns in the past. And then obviously at the very end, there's the Havoc skin, which is like a reactive camo, like in Call of Duty. So whenever you get the kills, the skin changes.
That's cool.
There's the Prowler as well, right? 250 or something.
Yeah. There's
a pretty nice one too.
There's a cool Prowler one. I'm pretty sure it's like Bloodhound themed because I'm pretty sure he's on it and it has like the Raven and stuff, and it looks kind of cool. But I think that the trackers are really 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 cool for the Battle Pass because it only tracks your season 1 stats, right? So like, you know, in the future when we're down the you know, we're in season 3, you know, and you only have the 3 slots, but you put all 3 seasons or something, right? So it's like season 1 I got 1,000 kills, season 2 I got, you know, 2,000 kills, and now season 3 I'm going for 3,000 kills, right? I think it's just a cool way to like kind of like flex a little bit during that season, because obviously like you're still building
flex, but okay.
You're still building like your permanent stats, right? Like your overall stats, but it's neat to see your, you know, in season stats for they only do kills, wins, and damage done. I think those are pretty cool, but yeah, overall in general the Battle Pass is pretty underwhelming. It's pretty cheap also, which is like a good kind of trade-off. Yeah, it's like $10, and then also you can make back all the money if you get to tier 100.
Oh yeah,
you can make back all the gold that you paid. But I heard that the reason the Battle Pass is so underwhelming was because number one, they didn't expect the game to blow up, so they weren't really preparing for it right away. They were just making the game as best, like, you know, because Respawn, even though they're with EA, they distance themselves from EA with their whole marketing, right? Like EA didn't really have anything to do with it. Like they took the reins and they did it themselves, right? So they weren't really worried about like the money or whatever. They wanted the best game, so they weren't creating the cosmetics. And then the game blew up, and then everybody's like, "Where's the Battle Pass? Where's the Battle Pass?" And like they weren't ready to give the Battle Pass because they're like, "Dude, it's fucking garbage. You guys don't want the Battle Pass." But then people just kept asking, so I guess, you know, they took what they had and they put out the Battle Pass. And I think that's why they put out the 3 skins, that if you buy the Battle Pass, you automatically get the 3 skins, because, you know, it's like, why work for this type of thing, right? And then I'm sure they have other like reactive camos and stuff, but the Havoc also is a new gun that just came out, and they're probably just like, dude, these other skins could need some tweaking or whatever. They just weren't ready, right? And people were rushing, right? And it's like, well, if we don't put out the Battle Pass, does our game die? Because you know, like games need content, like like especially free to play games, like people get bored, and you need to be pushing content, right? And I think that like Apex is either going to like start dying, or it could kind of pick up. I don't think it's going to pick up a lot, but I think that like the game Apex could die only because of like there's like no juice, right? Like people have been asking for a new map, people have been asking for new guns, new skins, new characters. The game's been out for like 2 months, dude, you know? And like, you know, people want, right? And it kind of sucks, right? So it's like, and obviously like they didn't advertise the game at all, so they just came out with the game and then it just exploded. So it's like they're already behind, right? I don't think they were planning for any of this.
Yeah.
So
right.
But I do think that there's more maps coming, and I think more maps would definitely keep the game fresh. Being able to queue and just get into a different map. I think so the Wingman is one of the most used guns because it's very strong. But I think whenever the maps come out, I think it would be really cool if there's, you know, certain guns only available on certain maps, right? I think that would be interesting. Like obviously all the guns are available everywhere, but like, you know, 1 or 2 guns are only available on certain maps. I think that would be really interesting, and I think it would maybe a gun that like I don't know, but like I think it would be very interesting if like only certain things were available, or like maybe certain equipment that kind of match the environments
Environment.
and stuff like that. I think it would be really cool if like they did specific things like that, but then like only a few things, like one or two things, and then but overall the game is pretty much the same, right? I think that would be pretty interesting, because then it kind of creates like not really like a meta, but like it creates like just a different way to play the game. Like when you're playing on this map, you're like, well, yo, this gun is on this map, so we gotta watch out for that because that gun's really strong. Like maybe like a sniper or something. That sniper's really strong. We gotta watch out. People might have it, right? Kind of in the sense of like Overwatch, right? Where like every map, a different comp is good on the map, so you're expecting different things, right? So when you go to this other map, you're expecting there's certain things in the map that are there. I think that would be really interesting. But yeah, overall, I think the battle pass is like pretty underwhelming. But I don't think that it's like, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it could be like damaging to the game, because that's just how the gaming community is. But I think it's fine, dude. And like, it just like having something to grind for is just like always like fun. And it
Kind of gives you a goal.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know, but they do need to come up with content, which is unfortunate because
But like you said, it's only been out for 2 months or something, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, Cody kind of talked about it before. Like with there's a lot of BRs out there, but they all die like within a week because
yeah,
either the gameplay isn't there, and luckily for Apex, the gameplay is there, but now it's lacking the content. And if they lack the content for too long, then people are just gonna stop playing and they're gonna go back to Fortnite or whatever, or they're gonna wait for the next BR to drop or whatever, and it kind of sucks. So. And that, you have to always try to stay relevant, right? So, and to do that, you just bring the content. And if you weren't prepared for that and you don't have like a content team, that's like hard,
No.
So, I mean, I'm sure they have a content team now, and I'm sure, things are moving behind the scenes, but I definitely don't think it's too late. Even if it comes like next month or maybe even a month after, I definitely don't think it's too late because the game is a success. But if they wait too long, it could like.
Well, if the next battle pass is underwhelming as well, I think that's
yeah. I think if by then there's no juice in the game, I think the game is definitely not going to be dead because I think a lot of people enjoy the game, but I definitely think the player base will decline.
Yeah,
start declining
like a lot. Yeah.
So aside from that, do you guys think there are any other bad things that Apex brings to the table, like as a BR? I think look, I'll bring an example. I think character balance they could work on. Some of the characters are kind of underwhelming, and are giant moving hitboxes.
Gibraltar.
Caustic.
Hey man, y'all ain't see me play. Cody see me play Gibraltar.
Yeah, he's popping off.
Hey, no, I agree with you. Like, Wraith isn't even like that cool of a character. I don't think. But people play her because she has the smallest hitbox in the game, right? So, therefore, you can make more mistakes in a gunfight, right? Yeah. Because they're gonna miss more than you're gonna miss, essentially, unless it's a Wraith v Wraith. But, hypothetically, they're gonna miss more shots on you, which means you can miss more shots, and But if you're playing like Gibraltar, you need to hit your shots because they're gonna hit their shots. So I definitely think that like I talked about it with Snot before, like maybe like those bigger characters get like a everybody has 100 HP, maybe they get 125 HP, 150 HP, but then I don't know how that changes the game, right? Because then it's like if you have good aim, why not just play Gibraltar, who now has 150 HP? You get the purple shields, you have 250 HP, and now you have 50 HP more than anybody else, and you're hitting your shots. So it's kind of like. So I don't know. I don't know the way to balance it.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that they could do. I mean, I don't know what they could do, but I definitely agree with you that like character balance is something that they could try to look into. Which I mean, I'm sure they are looking into it, but.
Yeah, I think it's one of the hardest things to do, like in games overall, especially like hero-based shooters.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you.
So, okay, I actually have a quick question before we go into our next topic. Do you guys remember a battle royale that came out within the last 2 years, and it was an underwater BR? Like you were in a scuba suit.
It's on PC. It's called like Deep Sea BR. I don't know. Yeah, no. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious if you guys remember the name and if you ever played it.
I never played it, but
that was interesting.
It looked
I'm curious
interesting.
how the mechanics would work on that. To be honest,
yeah.
Anyway, okay. So, go ahead.
Let me tell you guys my idea for a BR. Okay, and it takes ideas from other BRs, obviously, because
I mean, isn't that what BRs are?
You gotta
stealing other people's ideas.
That's what art is. Okay, that's what art is, baby.
Okay, you just gotta change it enough.
You just have to reskin it.
Okay, but the thing is, okay, so you guys will understand at the very end, but
it's
like
an Overwatch BR.
This game would like almost never sell. Or it would maybe sell like, it wouldn't sell. Okay,
it would sell 3 copies, and you're looking at the owners.
Yeah. No, because it goes back to what Cody was saying, that like BRs are like not hardcore, and this is like a hardcore BR, and that's because I'm a hardcore gamer. Sure. I'm a hardcore gamer, right? And I want this because I honestly enjoy the BR genre. Like, I enjoy it, right? There's just something about it, you beat out 99 other people to get to the top. You know what I mean? Like, I think, and they're very fast paced. I think they're pretty fun. Like I said, I played a lot of Blackout until I got really angry at the game, and then now I play like a lot of Apex, right? And I think Apex is a really good game. And I mean, even when Fortnite came out, I played a lot of Fortnite. Mm-hmm. I enjoy BRs. So
your aim was impeccable.
My aim was impeccable, baby.
Bro, this man in Fortnite. Oh my gosh, the video is amazing. Anyway, go ahead.
In Blackout, my aim is actually impeccable. Okay.
Your aim is good.
That's fair.
Give me the
But
Kashka,
dude,
baby.
this man has the 3-round burst rifle in Fortnite. Fucking shoots 4 bursts, hits 1 bullet. My aim is impeccable. I'm watching him like, what?
I'm probably like, he's won. Dude, I do that shit. I do that in Overwatch, dude. I hit 1 McCree. I hit 1 bullet on.
It's a Hammond with shield up. I hit him. He's won.
He's won.
I mean, I do that in Apex too. You
gotta get.
He's like 1 HP. Run in, punch him. He wasn't. He lied to me.
So okay. So the BR, right? Like, what if? Obviously everything's not ironed out, so there's gonna be holes and there's gonna be things that don't work, right? I'm not pitching this to a game developer, unless I am.
Yeah, maybe you are.
Yeah, they're gonna watch it. Okay. Okay. So, what if there's a BR, right, that had like a day-night cycle, and it's like survival a little bit as well. Like it's a very big map. And like, let's say like so obviously you need like a circle, right? Because you need the game to get like condensed, everybody to get into an area where there starts to be some action, right? So, but what if the game itself, like in-game time, it takes like maybe 2 or 3 days like of in-game time, right? I don't whatever that would be like. Obviously it would be scaled down, like 10 minutes, like, you know what I mean? Like whatever.
Yeah. But 10 minutes per day or whatever.
It's three days. So you go like day, night, right? And obviously there's some sort of something that's happening in the world that, is closing in on you, whether it be, like whatever, but something's coming in and it comes in, at a, it never stops. So it has a speed that it continues to go, right? But it never stops. Even when you're like in the day and the night, it never stops. It just slowly, like at a nice speed, always comes in, right? So you have to. There's like weather as well, weather conditions. So you actually have to like get shelter and stuff, right? Because then what if like the water affects your equipment and your gun and stuff, right? Your gun might jam or something or whatever. I don't know what water does to guns. But you know what I mean? Or like, the other thing I was thinking about was like snow, but then I'm like, that wouldn't even make sense. Cause then it would mean that like, it would have to be like it would take place during the winter or something. But I think just like rain and wind and stuff. But along with that, like obviously the next question would be like, how does that affect your shooting? And I think that would get a little bit too hardcore, right? Being like, well, the wind speed is like this, and then so your bullet. I think that's like a little bit too much, but it would affect like your vision, and it would affect your hearing, because the wind, the rain and stuff. It would, so like you're able to like sneak around and stuff as like an enemy character or whatever. You're able to just do more because of the environment, right?
Yeah.
But so pretty much like I guess the story, it would be you so in this BR you do drop in with some equipment and shit, because I think that's the only way it would work. I think dropping in with nothing in this type of game would be very like very difficult. So you drop in with some food. So pretty much you need food and water. But I don't think it would impact the game that much. Like I don't think like you're gonna need to be like scavenging for food and water like every like I think you'll have enough that it's not something that you need to really worry about, but that it's still a mechanic in the game. So I think you drop in with a gun, and with some equipment, and but so everybody has like a play style when you play BRs, right? Some people like the snipers, some people like the shotguns, some people like this, right? You have like a play style that you kind of gravitate towards usually in BRs, right? So what if there's like an RPG element, right? Where when you play the game, the more you use a certain weapon, you gain proficiency on that weapon, and then you rank up on that weapon. So then, if I like snipers a lot, I use snipers over and over again or whatever, and then and your stats carry from game to game. So in my next game, I leveled my sniper skill up to like level 2, and that grants me less weapon sway or whatever, right? Slightly, like it's not nothing that's super game breaking, like the gun doesn't move, there's no recoil, like, but it's
you can hold your breath forever.
Yeah, right. It's like a slight kind of improvement, right? Because that's what I like to do, and I'm getting better at it. Up into a cap where it's only like maybe like 10%, 10% less weapon sway when you max out your sniper skill. So it's not even that big of an advantage, right? Because obviously like I don't want you grind, and then all of a sudden like your weapon doesn't move, you don't ever miss. Like I think that's really dumb, right? But I think like just like you build it up to like level 10 or whatever. 10's the max level, and you get like you can hold your breath longer because you've been doing it. You stuff like that, like with your different guns, like maybe you learn the recoil a little bit, right? So it has a reduced recoil because you know how to shoot the gun now or whatever. And I think that
faster reloads, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, exactly, right? You get into a rhythm and stuff. I think that would be really cool. That would carry over from game to game, or because it is like a 3-day cycle, it only carries into that game. But I think that would be a little bit underwhelming because the games would last for a pretty long time. There's also no respawns in the game, because I don't think it would work. When you die, you just die, and so I think like but like just like the concept of that, it's like very hardcore gamer. Very, like there's RPG elements, there's like a day-night cycle, there's a weather cycle, survival. I think that it's just like a little bit too much, right? But but to me personally, dude, that sounds like really fun, especially like with your friends. Like ideally, I would want it on like a huge scale, right? Like more than 100 people in the game. If you're running a day-night cycle and like on a big map, and maybe you have squads of like maybe like 5 or 6 or something. I think that would be really sick. And maybe you and your squad, you guys are able to split up like 3-3 or something, and you guys go and you guys can communicate with each other, and you're building not like bases, because you're not going to build a base, because like the circle's never stopping, so you can't really stay in one place for a long time. But like you're building shelters and stuff, and then you guys meet up somewhere else. And I just think that, and obviously like it would never just close in to like the middle of the map, because that's very predictable. Obviously it would close in on like different sections of the map.
So I actually have a couple questions for you, and I like this concept. It sounds pretty interesting. So for one, the circle, do you already know when you go in, whether it's a grid system, you pick where you want to go, or you drop out of a plane or whatever? Do you already know where the circle is going to end? Because you said it slowly comes in and it doesn't go like through waves.
Yeah, so I thought about that, right? Because Blackout just came out with their like a hardcore blackout mode where you can't, there's no HUD and you can't see the map, which means you don't know where the circle is. And I think that concept is very interesting, right? So I think when you drop in, you don't know. Like I don't know if that's too strong or not, but you don't know, but there's something in the game that allows you to, like, let's say the circle is a storm.
Like maps.
Yeah, and you're able to, maybe get like a radio or some sort of like radar or something, and then you're like, oh, dude, okay, the map, like the storm is here. It's gonna be coming here. Like, I think that would be really cool because then it adds like a different element to the game where you need to more than just
scavenge
killing.
for information.
You have to get the information, because then obviously you want to be in the end to be in the best position to like.
Right.
So I think that would
Right.
be.
I think that'd be kind of cool. Like, I don't want to take over your idea here, but like if the circle
This is an
were
open discussion.
if it were like a winter thing, right? Like the circle could be like a blizzard coming in, and like when you get in there, like your body temperature goes down, and like you get more hungry faster, and you get dehydrated quicker or whatever. Like
that's what Roe did.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I played that a couple times. I'm like, dude, this is a really good idea. And imagine if it fused other ideas and I don't know. I think it would be pretty sick. And I mean, yeah, like a winter system would work. Like if there's different maps, like maybe you're up in the Arctic or something. You're up in the mountains, and it's a more of a mountainous map, and it's a blizzard that's coming or something. And then there's like a
desert.
Yeah, and then like a foresty map or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're able to that you have to play them all differently. I think that would be like really sick.
Yeah, I think it'd be definitely really interesting, to be honest. And my other question is about mats, like materials. Would you be able to harvest them? Like you said, build a shelter. So like I'm assuming that like if it was raining, then you could build like a shelter to keep yourself warm or whatever, and like not freeze or something.
Yeah. So I don't want it to be like Fortnite, right? Where like it's very easy to build. Like I don't want people to be able to build it during a fight.
Right.
And I think also the shelters that you build are very like simple, but and I don't want it to be like you have to go searching for like materials, right? Because I don't like, I think that really would take away from the game like a lot. Like it would slow down the game a lot. Like I think the game in general is going to be it would be pretty slow. But I think that would slow it down even more. So I don't really know how that would work, but I would want it to be pretty easy, like pretty and like the shelter would be like very very small, and like you don't build it quickly. You need to take some time.
I imagined it almost like an Ark like shelter, like you craft it, right?
Yeah.
Like you find the materials, you craft it, and then you can set it down.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured that's kind of like what it would be like, protect your weapons in like extreme weather. So like, so you don't want them to get damaged or your bullets to get wet or whatever, or like rust or something. Like there's a lot of cool things you could do with that.
Yeah, right. But at the same time, it would be a very hardcore game, and it would be a very realistic game. And
I think it'd be really cool. I like the survival element of it. Like I think it would add something new to it. But I also think that it would be so. I think it'd be very niche for like people, to be honest.
That's what would suck, right? Because like I was just really thinking about like like even like the Hunger Games, like just that style of like more than one day you need to survive, more than just kill. I think that would be a really interesting, like even if it's not on this idea is like a very big idea, right? And it probably wouldn't work. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of aspects that wouldn't work, but just the concept of having to survive and also like kill, I think is like something that like if a BR could do that, I think that would be really interesting to like you're not only going for those kills, you also need to survive like the environment. I think that would be pretty interesting.
I think that'd be sweet, to be honest.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, so that I that's my BR that I thought of. Obviously I took some ideas from other games, other things, but I think like I think that would be the end game BR, like the the pinnacle of BRs. I think that would be it.
Personally, when you were talking about it, I just imagined myself, because you're like day and night cycle and it's raining and people use shelters and stuff. I'm like, yo, I'd be the motherfucker with a trench knife, like crawling up behind someone's tent and like assassinate. Right? Like that'd be dope, dude. That'd be so cool. Like rain's coming down. I'm like, oh, I'm sneaking up. Like, oh, I see a camp up here. Like that'd be so cool, dude.
Yeah, and because like the circle never stops, you kind of always have to keep moving, right? So it's not even like you could kind of camp out anywhere. So
I'm envisioning it would be like you wouldn't want to stay anywhere longer than like half a night or like half a day or whatever. So it'd be kind of like a little bit quicker, but
yeah. And then I do think like the storm would do more damage over time. Like obviously if you get caught in the storm, it would do a little bit of damage at the beginning of the game, but if you get caught in it later in the game, it would do like a lot of damage. Like obviously I think that concept would stay the same, just so that if it did like a lot of damage always, because you don't know where the circle is in the beginning of the game, you just get destroyed.
Right.
So I think obviously it would ramp up in damage as well. I don't think I would ever want it to ramp up in speed though. I think having a constant speed would be pretty I think would be okay.
Yeah. Because it's going to end eventually. Like if you set like a time limit to be like 45 minutes maximum, it's going to be here.
Yeah, exactly. Because then that actually sets like your game will not go longer than this amount of time, right? So I think that would be fine. Yeah. But yeah, so, I don't know. I think that's the pinnacle. At least for me personally, that's like the pinnacle of BRs. Like I think that's what BRs should be building towards. I think that's like the ultimate BR game, in my opinion.
I think that would be fun. So,
I feel like you just took like survival games. Like I was just thinking like DayZ the whole time.
Yeah,
and just like slap BR on it,
Yeah, well, no, for real. Like I think it would be pretty.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Especially if there's a story to it, like a reason why you guys are doing this. Like
I think have you ever heard of Escape from Tarkov? Either of you guys?
Yeah.
Yes. Like I could imagine like that style like of combat and stuff. Like guns jamming, having to like reload, take out your mag, throw in a new one, stuff like that. I can imagine the hardcore. I think it'd be cool, but I don't think it would ever work. Sadly,
no, it would never work.
I think it'd be a hard sell. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I mean, dude, like the story could be that they're all controlled environments, and it's some rich millionaire, and he throws everybody into this dome, and he's controlling the weather and shit. Like, and then at the end, maybe when you win a game. You get some money as a team, and then you're able to actually maybe every time you drop in, you need to purchase your equipment that you bring with you. You know what I mean? I said like you drop in with stuff. Like cool. What if you get some like obviously everybody at the beginning of the game starts with some money, but and maybe there's some very base things that you can load out with, but when you win games and you're able to get some money, you can maybe bring some more food with you, or maybe you're able to like bring a shelter with you already. You don't have to build it or whatever. Like I think that would be pretty sick.
Or during game currency, like if you could find some like money somewhere in the map, you could like use like a walkie-talkie and call in like a supply drop.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
like some food or something, or you could request a weather change if the guy is like the
hello Uber Eats.
Hey,
yeah,
no, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I think
that'd be definitely cool.
I think that'd be really sick.
Too bad.
It would never work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think.
What's this name of this?
I don't even know. I didn't get that.
Come
far.
on, man! Top of the dome. Come on. I've heard you freestyle. I know you got something.
I don't even know.
Come on, dude.
Well, like I don't know because I would want it to be related to the story, right? So I would want it to have some sort of relation, and if although I do think like having it like as an actual battle royale, like there's some rich people that are setting this up, and you guys are actually people like contestants almost coming into the game, and I think that would be a pretty interesting story. And then
just call it the Millionaire BR.
Yeah.
Or the Games of Hunger BR.
Like Running Man. The games of hunger. God.
But yeah, so that's where I want to see BRs go. Me personally, that's where I want to see them go. Right now, I think we're at the bare minimum of what we could do with BRs.
I want like a legitimate BR VR.
Jesus.
That'd be sick though, dude.
Sounds like a stomach ache.
I mean, yo, have you guys heard about the millionaire who wants to buy a private island to create a IRL battle royale?
No.
What?
Yeah, there's like a
people die.
No, you don't die. But you get like
This sounds like your game, dude.
You get
like, hey, coming to my island playing this BR.
Like airsoft and like paintball.
Yeah, you get airsoft guns and I can't remember what they said, but like reactive, like get some sort of reactive gear or something that like when you get hit, like
it registers.
Yeah, so but yeah, apparently that's a thing. This guy wants to buy a private island and host battle royales, and the winner gets like $500,000 or something.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Start working out, boys.
Yeah, dude.
For real, let's do this.
Yeah.
And then we can build Marsh's game with that $500,000.
There you go. Yeah. There's the future of BR, man.
Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting, but I could see it going bad.
I know, like, getting a little off topic, some like airsoft and paintball courses have done that before. Where it's like they'll spread out their gear like across their field.
That's kind of sick.
That's what you use.
That's kind of sick.
Dude, there was a game that we played at our paintball field. Like you take a gun and you took like the different parts of it and scattered it across like the map.
Really?
Yeah, and that was kind of fun. I mean, I guess I can't say it was fun. It sounds interesting, but I never played it. They were telling me that they did it, and it looked fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I guess like it's not at all like a BR because like there was like a team a person had the gun, like a gun that was fully assembled, and then there was like a couple people that were running around the map to find all the parts so they could fight the guy with the gun. So it's not really
fair enough.
Interesting like that at all. But
what about you guys? Is there anywhere you guys want to see BRs go before we move on to our last kind of topic?
Oh man, honestly, man, I'm kind of done with BRs for right now. I'm BR'd out, man. I'm BR burned out, man.
But how? You don't even play BRs.
But I used to, dude. I used to play a lot. I know this is gonna sound lame, but like Minecraft had the Hunger Games, like mod. Yeah, not really mod. They just had servers and stuff, and I used to grind the crap out of that. And like I thought that was fun, and then like Fortnite, and then I kind of like lost interest at Fortnite, and then we went into Blackout, and I like kind of like Blackout, and then we kind of kept moving on.
Bro, you skipped H1. Come on.
Yeah,
I still find it fun
to kind of mess around.
H1 was fun.
It's a fucking goof.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead, Cody.
No, finish your statement.
I don't know. I want to see something different, but every time they do something different, it doesn't work. So, yeah.
So you start off, you got a mod for Arma. You move on to H1 and PUBG. Very basic, just shooters. Drive around with your buddies, shoot people. You got Fortnite with building, classes coming in, all kinds of stuff changing. I don't know where it's going to go. I'd like to see the hero shooter kind of fleshed out a little more. See if people could do that. I'd like to see BRs drop with smaller maps and maybe have like 3 maps right off the bat instead of always just one large map.
Very true.
Because you see hot zones all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see more fast-paced BRs too, because I'm tired of like playing PUBG for like 40 minutes and then I just get sniped from a guy in a ghillie suit in a bush. So, like, I like the fast pace. I'd like to see more of that. Less towards like vehicle combat, like H1 is kind of, where you can just kind of like navigate the map like COD or Apex.
Yeah, I feel you. I think there's a lot of things, like I said, that we can do with BRs, and I don't think. I mean, even the BRs that have failed have done more than some of these bigger developers that could probably do it correctly. Like there was like the Cuisine Royale. That was just like a wild.
What?
That was great, man. Oh,
I have
dude.
not seen this.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like the underwater one that we were talking about. Like imagine if like a AAA studio decided to just do something more than a regular BR. Because
I want to see space.
I think that would be very interesting, yeah.
I don't know how you do it, but I'd love to see space.
Like get your own ship and like fly around.
I don't feel like that's a little too much freedom. I don't know.
The universe is pretty big.
Yeah. I just mean like
yeah, but all of the galaxies
sky.
start destroying.
Yeah.
They're getting sucked in by a black hole, dude.
Oh my God.
So instead of going to the circle, you're running away from it. You know?
That's terrible.
But
yeah,
I
it
wish
just never ends.
I wish that like some big AAA studios would, try, because they have like the teams, the money, the funding and stuff, to like make them good, right? Instead of these indie developers who like make these BRs that they look good and they play good, but sometimes there's just things here and there that like don't work, and they're not able to flush it out in time before the game dies or whatever. Whereas these bigger companies are able to do that because they have the teams to do that. They have the size to do that, money. Right? So yep. I think it would be pretty interesting if like an actual like AAA developer, because we haven't even had AAA BRs like really, like we had Blackout.
Blackout's like the only one,
and then now the Battlefield one, but Battlefield isn't really that big. And then I wouldn't call Respawn like a AAA studio or anything, but like but them and Epic have the biggest BR, right? So like the AAA, we've only had two like true AAA BRs, and they're both just like okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I definitely don't think BR is going anywhere anytime soon, but I definitely think it could also go like way further.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, if you guys don't have any other comments on that, we're gonna move into some tips and tricks. You have anything to say?
I just want to see like an Overwatch BR. To be honest.
Why? What about the rumors? What about the rumors of a Rainbow Six BR?
Serious?
Mm-hmm.
You guys know there's a Counter-Strike BR?
What?
Yeah, it's probably bad.
It's.
Oh wait, okay. No, I did see that one, Cody. I did. Yeah. I seen that. I forgot about it as soon as I seen it. But, yeah, I don't know, dude. Honestly, I think Overwatch BR would be kind of fun. I don't know.
Why?
I think,
dude, the game itself isn't even fun.
Well, okay, so here's my concept. I know we're just about to move on.
Be a hero shooter and you're Reinhardt?
No. Listen. You take all of the weapons and you fucking scatter them, and you're just a base default character, and like imagine like running around and you're like, oh, I found a Farah jetpack, so you have like one of these abilities, and then you find like a Reinhardt hammer, so now you have a Reinhardt hammer and a jetpack. Like that would be sick, dude. Can you imagine? No. Like, and then you find Blink and you're just like blinking into people flying and hitting them with a hammer. Dude, bro, that sounds so fucking fun to me. Honestly, like I actually am not shitting you right now. That sounds fucking epic. Like I know it's dumb and I know it wouldn't sell, but dude, like I think it'd just be so fucking chaotic and so goofy, like that'd be fun.
It would. You guys ever see the videos of the early gameplay of Overwatch? Whenever like all the characters were Farah
T-posing around.
Yeah.
Like there's Farah holding her rocket, but she's shooting like this.
That's
Tracer. And she's like blinking and stuff, but like the base character model is Farah. That's what the game would be.
Yeah, dude. But that'd be amazing. I don't know. I think it'd be funny. It'd be goofy. I just want something that I can jump in and like have a good time with, and it's just a laugh every time.
Cuisine Royale, dude. That's the thing. Like, you'll never get that from like a AAA developer.
Oh,
They'd never take a
not.
risk with like
no, because it wouldn't
game.
last long, dude.
Yeah,
It's good for a meme and it's good for a laugh, but
I think Gearbox could make a good BR, but I think it would look a lot like Apex.
yeah.
But I think Gearbox could probably make something goofy, fun, kind of fun BR. Probably in the Borderlands universe.
Been playing too much Borderlands.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I think they could do it. But then at the same time, like, Apex and Borderlands are very similar. Like, not similar, but like they have the same feel to them, in my opinion. Like, they you know what I mean? You
like,
kind of like
art style.
Well, art
Or
style
just,
and
like-
just in like the fun. I mean, Octane is literally, like straight out of
A
Borderlands.
psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like the personality of the characters and I don't know. I just like they're not the same in any way, shape, or form. But I just feel like they have like like I don't know. I look at them and I'm like, oh yeah, it's kind of like Borderlands. It's kind of like
If they could iron out gunplay better, I would agree with you.
true.
I don't think the
Borderlands?
gunplay in Borderlands is very good.
Yeah. I agree.
But
Especially
yeah,
for like a PvP.
but like yeah,
stuff.
their humor, their art style, the
Yeah.
flow of their game, like
Yeah.
they already have like the abilities and stuff. You know,
Yeah, I definitely think that
yeah.
they could make a
Could be
like
cool.
they could make a fun, goofy BR. I think they could
Yeah.
do it.
Also, I want to say that Octane reminds me a lot of Junkrat. To be honest, like personality wise, maybe I just don't know him that much.
You just play
But-
too much Overwatch.
I do. This is it's true,
I don't know how
into
Overwatch
it.
Overwatch is bad.
bro.
All right.
All right, Apex tips. What do
Let's
we got?
go.
Marsh?
Yep, tips and
You
tricks.
first.
The
You
the
first.
Apex
We'll
Pro.
go through the line. We'll start
Okay,
with you. Go to
boys.
Cody,
So
me.
when playing movement is key. So when you're first getting into the game, you should try to focus on your movement. I know that's like kind of like weird to say in a shooting game, but when you're first learning the game, like the biggest thing that you can learn is movement, like knowing how to slide to increase your speed, but also when you hip fire, if you strafe, it's a very effective tactic rather than aiming down the sights and trying to strafe because you can't move as well. So people who are up close with like a shotgun or a Spitfire or something, if you hip fire and strafe, you'll probably win the fight more than if you try to aim down the sights at a close range like that. But just I guess the biggest tip I could give is know where you like to drop and then get a routine, because all the items in the game, they spawn in the same areas. Like there's certain areas that spawn the guns and equipment. So if you like to drop artillery, you should map out a route that you take, because I take the same route every single game because I know I can hit, I can go through like maybe like 20 items to pick up in my route, and then hopefully I'll find a gun, some armor, this and that. So I definitely think that's one of the biggest things that you could do is like learn, have a pattern of wherever you like to drop, and then always try to run that pattern because then the faster you get at it, then just the better off you're going to be at the beginning of the game, because if you can just zoom through faster and you don't have to really look at things, and you're looking like, oh, is there going to be a gun over here, you can just zoom through and you'll have like a bunch of equipment. And I think that's what helped me improve a lot, was mapping out a route, and then now I just run it very quickly, and yeah, you'll be kitted in no time.
Cody.
I have 3 tips. First off, find your character. Find who you like to play ability wise. It's not a huge thing, but it does help. Second thing is find the loadout that you're comfortable with. On the drop, you might not be able to, kit up right away with what you want. But once you get in a later game, you can find what you want to use. Then my third tip is just get into fights. Throw yourself into fights right away, because that's what I think made me better. I was struggling aiming. I was struggling finding what guns I'd like to use and that kind of stuff. And I would drop, get what loot I could, and then just throw myself into a fight and see what happens. Now, I'm not saying that you can 1v3 people, but, just take gunfights, see what works for you, get used to, like Marsh said, the movement, the aiming, everything like that. And then, get good.
Yeah, so I'm really bad at this game, and I don't really have any tips other than like to reiterate, like don't be afraid to hip fire because as soon as I learned to hip fire with like the R99 and the R301 and the alternator, I started doing a shit ton more damage, to be honest, because the hip firing in that game is broken, dude. It's nice. Like,
it feels good.
Yeah, it really does. It's nice. But other than that, man, I got no tips for you guys. You don't want to learn from me.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to get better is kind of like what Cody says, like get into fights. So like honestly, I drop hot almost all the time, and sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but it just forces you to like think about everything that you're doing. You need to be quick, but then you also need to like kind of memorize the position of the enemies, of like where they dropped or where you last saw them, and then where you are in relation to your team. And because there's like there's going to be like 5 or 6 teams in that area, and you guys need to like manage a lot of things. And I think the more you do that, the faster you're going to be, the faster you'll get better at the game. Like you'll know how to like handle yourself in almost any situation.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's like an RNG, so sometimes you just can't win. Sometimes they're gonna drop with a purple armor and R301 or something, and you're gonna get no armor and a Mozambique, and you're just gonna get roasted, and then you just go to the next game.
Yeah. Yep.
Fair enough.
All right, guys. So that's pretty much all we have for you today. We are happy to be back. Hopefully, the next podcast will be a lot sooner than this one was to the last one. But thank you guys for listening and watching. I hope you guys learned some tips for Apex, and let us know what you guys think about the future of BRs, where you guys want to see it go, all that kind of fun stuff. But until the next podcast, remember to hold W and go hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Take care.
See ya.
Peace.